Alright, listeners, that was number 3. Read the little blurb on the back of your shampoo bottle. Next is number 4. Do a tongue twister! There are so many tongue twisters, and I'm kind of bad at them, so I'm going to start with the simplest. Rubber baby monkey bumpers! Rubber baby buggy bumpers! Peter Piper pecked a peck of pickled peppers. If Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, where's the peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked? Peter, you're in trouble. Watch out! Penny's pretty pink piggy bank. When a doctor falls ill, another doctor's doctor the doctor. Does the doctor doctoring the doctor the doctor in his own way, or does the doctor doctoring the doctors the doctor in the doctor's way? She sells seashells by the seashore. She sells on the seashore. But the seashells that she sells are on the seashore are not the real ones. Oh my gosh, someone just sold me a fake seashell. I'd better not say. A skunk sat on a stump. The stump thought the skunk stunk. The skunk thought the stump stunk. What stunk, the skunk or the stump? An ape hates grape cakes. Ice cream, you scream, we all scream for ice cream! How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? He'd chuck all the wood a woodchuck could if a woodchuck could chuck wood. Double bubble gum, double bubbles double. Double bubble gum, bubbles double. Betty bought butter, but the butter was bitter. So Betty bought better butter to make the bitter batter butter. To make the bitter butter better. Betty bought butter, but the butter was bitter. So Betty bought better butter to make the bitter butter better. And that, I think, will be the end of my tongue twisters. Thanks for listening! Alright, that was number 4, a tongue twister. I did tongue twisters and got tongue-tied. But next is number 5, say something in a different language. Well, I don't know many languages, but I do know bits and pieces. So I'm going to try saying something in Japanese. I apologize to anyone who actually knows Japanese. This is probably going to be like, why are you doing this? You should not even just stop. Alright? So, here I go! Konnichiwa! Watashi wa Taranabakar. Genki desu ka? Eh? Ah! Arigatou gozaimasu! Sayonara! Alright, that was number 5, say something in a different language. Next is number 6, share an anecdote. Now, I know some people won't know what an anecdote is, so I'm just going to define it real quick. It is a short account of a particular incident or event, especially of interesting or amusing nature. Basically, a funny story that actually happened to you. And I have just the one. See, my family and I threw my brother a Doctor Who party for his 18th birthday. And I hid little cards, little business card-sized pictures of the silence all over our property. And it was one of the games to find all the silence you could, and the one who found the most silence by the end of the party got a prize. Well, JJ ended up finding them all. However, it was the last 2, his reaction to finding the last 2 that I thought was especially hysterical. See, he found all but except these 2 were hiding in 2 of the most obvious places. One of them was on the corner of our doghouse and was clearly visible from the porch. Yeah, he missed that one. The next one was stuck onto a barrel and was slightly covered by an old burnt wash rag. I'll admit that one you would have to get pretty close to see, oh, wait a minute, that's not part of the wash rag. But he was so mad that he had missed those 2. He's just like, I can't believe I missed those 2. I am so ticked off. Oh my gosh. And just seeing him rail on himself like that, it wasn't anything bad, or it was just all in good fun type stuff. but seeing his reactions was really priceless. It literally made all the effort that we put into the party worth it. Alright, that was number 6, share an anecdote. Number 7 is do the rains in Spain stay mainly on the plains? I don't know, but in Hartford, Hereford, and Hampshire, hurricanes hardly ever happen. Alright, that was number 7. Do the rains in Spain stay mainly in the plains? And next is number 8. Summarize the last film/TV episode you watched. Being one who spends a lot of time with little kids, the last piece of TV that I watched was actually an episode of Peppa Pig by Nick Jr. And this episode of Peppa Pig was about how you really shouldn't change rules unless you're going to apply them to everyone. It was the episode where Grandpa Pig went with Peppa Pig to the playground and changed up the rules, and because the rules applied only to a certain number of the children and not to others, the children decided to make up their own rules until Mommy Pig came and said, yeah, the only rule on the playground is to take turns, even if you're little or what have you. So, lesson learned, and I think it needs to be learned in our politics. Next bit. So, the next one, I can't remember if this was part of the same episode or if I was watching a blend, but it had to do with Grandpa Pig taking George and Peppa on a little boat trip. And they took the bird, Polly the parrot, with them, and they ended up getting stuck on a sandbar and sending Polly to Grandma Pig so that Grandma Pig could get Grandpa Pig's best friend, Grampy Dog, who also has a boat but has a steamboat, to come and rescue them. So, not really much of a moral to that one, just a fun little ditty. Alright, thanks for listening!